Maggie isn't the only expert on board. Sir Peter Heap is another guest speaker.
I think what attracts people to Minerva is intellectual curiosity. Almost everybody on Minerva is intellectually curious. They are here because they want to go to places that not only have they never been before, but none of their friends have been to before. Time and again I've had this experience in Minerva. Maybe there's some people here and there that place next to them at the dinner table, and you suddenly find they are extraordinarily interesting people who've done extraordinarily interesting things. I'm here as a sort of an employee. I'm here to give talks, to give lectures. I retired from the Foreign Office, and my interest all through my life and my work has been in the area of politics, economics, history, that sort of thing. In fact, there's a huge amount of work goes into each and every talk. I mean, I sometimes feel mildly envious of the academics and others because they are, in the main, giving talks that could be given anywhere on any trip, same sort of thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, a good evening to you all. Welcome back on board, and here we are now just leaving our berth in Las Palmas, and Cape Verde lies ahead of us. Well, I do hope you've enjoyed your day, ladies and gentlemen. A couple of reminders for you. First of all, it's another hour back on the clocks this evening, so on time you're retiring to your cabins at the end of tonight. If you'll please remember to put your watches and clocks back by 1 hour. And meanwhile, we have a couple of the yellow shirts up on promenade deck, just about to commence the walk a mile. And I know that Paul and Andrew would love you to join them. If they've already started, we'll make them start again. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention. Have a good evening.
While the lithe and lively yellow-shirted cruise crew lap the decks and others watch the water sports, it's anchors away as we prepare for our 3-day crossing to the Cape Verde Islands.
We're doing a full turnaround of the Cape Islands. Must well. Otherwise we'll be banging into that thing over there.
The busy port and lights of Las Palmas recede into the distance as we sail south into the deep Atlantic. 3 more days of seafaring fun, frenzied feeding, and fascinating talks about tectonic plates. With warmer weather and complimentary drinks, the evening is about to kick off. Who knows what will happen at sea with frisky 60-year-olds fueled by free booze on a balmy night? Out on deck, the night is still young, though most of us aren't, and it's time to whip the hips, tighten the tums, and twirl. The Hungarian house band drives the dance crowd crazy. Chinos and chintz thrash about in the moonlight with hedonistic abandon.
This is the first morning, I think, that we've encountering the tropics. It's very warm, 6:30. It's the first time that it's been warmer outside than it has been inside the cabins.
These are the Cape Verde Islands. They're huge, sticking out of the Atlantic. And I just expected a little sandy beach with natives in grass skirts, but maybe that'll happen later. The Cape Verde Islands were once a refueling station for transatlantic shipping, which is why one of Minerva's passengers is happy to be visiting.
This particular cruise had 2 key advantages. One was a lot of time at sea, and the other was that one of the places that he called at was Mindelo, St. Vincent in the Cape Verde Islands. I'd always been very interested to see that because my maternal grandfather went to work there. It was his first job abroad at the age of 18. He went there as a coaling clerk.
Though Cape Verde is an independent nation, its poor inhabitants try and live off scant tourism and tuna exports. Its major income is from the remittances sent home from the thousands who've left the islands for easier living elsewhere. We've now travelled over 2,800 nautical miles, and today we cross the equator. It's time for an early cup of cappuccino before we change hemispheres. The automatic coffee machine is a particular passenger pleasure, and about the only technical item most cruisers can cope with. The library is deserted at this hour. Not even an early rising jigsaw puzzler is up and about yet.
Well, the clock's gone back again.
Will the water go down the plug hole the other way when we cross the equator? Sun's up, time to make a splash.
This first chapter which I've entitled Turtles and Nautili.
Who's he calling a turtle?
Since these were recurring names for various craft through the ages, looks at the earliest submersibles and the development of key technologies needed to deliver an effective warship that could operate underwater.
This morning's lecture has been given by Lieutenant Commander Alistair Graham, who's on loan to the Minerva from the Merchant Navy. He'll tell us all about ships and submarines, sailors and sailing, and all nautical know-how in return for his hammock and dry biscuits.
But by about 1900, sufficient progress had been made to interest the major navies of the world.
With the weather fine and fair, today's lunch is a barbecue on deck. The chef barbies, we queue. The sunshine has lured us from the lectures and the liquor's loosened our native British reserve. Even our onboard bishop is ready to bear witness to the equator event. What better way to digest a light lunch than being smeared in ketchup and cream and ducked into the pool to celebrate the crossing the line ceremony?
Why spend November and December in England when you can be doing something like this?
I see the captain's suitably soaked, though not as sozzled as the rest of the onlookers. Oh, what fun! Now we've crossed the equator and almost crossed the Atlantic, we'll soon be in sight of Brazil.
Ladies and gentlemen, with Salvador getting ever much closer, just a reminder, please, that we do need to know, please, those passengers not interested in joining us for the Capoeira show this evening. If you'd just be kind enough to pop down to the Swan's desk if you're not planning on joining us this evening. Thank you.
Well, one person who won't be joining them this evening is me. After 5 days at sea, we're now approaching the shores of Brazil, and our first port of call is going to be Salvador. I see the flags are up.
And Peter's not been back to Brazil since he was a boy.
I used to, as a schoolboy, go out to Brazil every other year for a very, very brief summer holiday. And it would take 17 days from Tilbury to Rio. I was born in Rio. In those days, if you were born in that country, you had to take the nationality. So I have Brazilian nationality as well as British nationality.
It's all changed since Peter's family lived here.
Coming into Rio.
Ah, Rio.
My name is Rio and she.
The stupendous Sugarloaf Mountain, samba schools, slums, and those Ipanema girls. Jesus certainly has a heavenly view of it all.
And when she shines, she really shows you all she can. Oh, Rio, Rio, dance across the Rio Grande.
My father's company there were flour mills which had been set up in Rio, I guess in about the 1880s. In Rio, from the deck of Minerva, I could see the only surviving thing of the large Rio mills, which is part of the brick flue to the boiler house.